defensively tonight to kind of smother them a little bit?
Just really trying to fight over those ball screens. Not to put him on blast or anything, we knew likely wasn't a very good shooter, so we were helping off him a little bit. If you saw, we threw in a little double package, got a glimpse of that. But no, we kind of just locked into scouting report, try to limit scouting report mistakes, and I think it went pretty well for us today, holding them to whatever they shot on offense. But I think we did a pretty good job.
I guess Coleman just has me a follow-up to that. I mean, Brad Underwood's whole idea is tough twos. What did you do better maybe against Ohio State than against Indiana last week in that regard?
Kind of just running them off the line, being in the gaps, going home early, just forcing tough shots, really, being attached in those ball screens, just being tougher. I think we just played a lot tougher, and it worked out for us. So.
Coleman, is it any different for you when you get an assignment like Sensabaugh was a projected first-round pick? I know last year you against Keegan Murray was a big stand-up performance for you. Did you approach it any differently? Do you get excited for those matchups?
Yeah, definitely. I think I do get excited. But not only that, it's going to be my assignment to win. Although they have the noise around NBA and the draft and stuff like that. It's a team assignment. I know if I shut those guys down, it'll be a lot easier to win. So, kind of just locking down on those assignments. It's always exciting to go out and play against guys like that. So yeah.
For either of you, is that the most confident you've seen, Ty and Jaden tonight as freshmen in a Big Ten game?
I feel like they're always confident. We put it in them, coach put it in them, and they were just ready to play. Ty rebounds like that and plays that aggressive all the time in practice. And when his name got called today, he came out and performed.
Terrence, when Kobe plays like that, threatens a triple-double, seems like, what's he give you? What's he mean to your team?
She throw at the three. He's a great passer. One of the best passers I ever played. Can rebound the ball. It's a mismatch for a big. He can go out and guard a guard. I feel like we're unbeatable when come and play like that. And he got it up on the offense. I'm not saying he had bad games before, but we all played together and executed offensively. And that put him in spots to get people open and make shots.
Andy?
Coleman, Sixers, what's the adjustment kind of been for you playmaking-wise, kind of within this new offense last couple of games?
I think really it's kind of executing, setting better screens, making harder cuts. I think that's really been a key. And then tonight, just getting in transition and going. I think we kind of slow up or don't pitch it ahead sometimes, but if we can get those outlets or if I get a rebound and go, I think it's really effective. I think defenses collapse and they see the five-man pushing the ball up like that. I think it's kind of confusing for them. So I think it's real good when we pitch the ball ahead and just get it and go on when we get stops. So.
Terrence, it seemed like, especially early, you were maybe more intense, maybe a little more aggressive attacking the basket. Was that a point of emphasis for you tonight?
My team, Coach Brad, Coleman also, they always want me aggressive, and I'm pretty hard to stop going downhill, and whether it's kicking it out to an open teammate or finishing, that's what I do. I just stay aggressive. That's my role on the team.
Coleman, there's a stretch where I think Ty found you, and then fast break, the next play you found him. Why kick it back to him? And what would that stretch kind of mean for you guys at that point in the game?
Yeah, the one I think I don't even remember if he got a rebound or what, but it's kind of like a bobble ball. Like he got it and dished it to me, dunked it, got the crowd into it a little bit, and then I think we got to stop, right?
Yeah.
And then came back down.
He was transition. Yeah.
TJ needed to work on his lobs a little bit, so I could have dunked the first one, but I saw Ty trailing, so I just kind of pitched it right back to him. So kind of just reading the game, getting a feel for the game, and then it's really effective and it's contagious when you share the ball. So yeah.
Terrence, is there something out of Matt where on the court you can look at him and go, okay, he's back healthy now? Is there something that he does where you're like, okay, this is the guy that we've seen all along?
Probably when he's rebounding. But Matt comes, he's the same guy every day. And he acts the same, so you'll never know when he's sick, honestly. Some guys have bad games, and I'm not saying he had a bad game, but he's the same. But when he's rebounding like that, and he just happened to miss shots today, but he was still effective on the defensive end, made free throws, 2 for 6 from 3. He was good. He uplifts everyone.
It's for either one of you, it's sort of ridiculous, but I think you guys went on like a 10-0 run after Isaac likely missed his 2 free throws and the crowd was chanting for Nuggets and they got excited. Do you feed off of those moments a little bit?
I notice it when they're going crazy like that. And sometimes I hope they miss just so we can like get the crowd going. But yeah, I mean the crowd's always great. So I like when people miss 2 free throws in a row. It gets the crowd into it, and then the crowd will get us into it. So yeah.
No question. Anything else for the players? All right, thank you, man.
Pretty good salt factor on the popcorn tonight. Pretty good. I was very pleased defensively tonight. I thought that I think you've got the 6th rated Ken Palm team offensively, and you know what they're capable of. And I thought the first half, I think they're 18 of 50 from 2, something like that. That was the plan. They shoot a lot of 2s. We wanted to make them hard and contested. And obviously Bryce is a very, very talented freshman. He's a really, really good player. I thought we did a great job. I thought Coleman was really solid. But tonight was a very good team effort. I thought Ty Rogers impacted the game. I thought Brandon Lieb, his entrance into the game in the first half with a couple blocks. And then the 2 things we talked about a ton was transition, keeping them out of that. It was huge tonight. I think we were really good in that area. And rebounding the basketball. And, you start looking, Coleman almost, again, double-double, 9 rebounds. Coleman was terrific. 6 assists, 1 turnover. Didn't have a great shooting night from 3, but just, I thought, really controlled the game at both ends of the court. Obviously TJ finds a way to get 17 about every night or more. But I thought Ty and everybody that came in did a nice job tonight defensively against a very talented offensive team.
Good.
Coach, at fast break points 16-1. How were you able to dictate tempo to that extreme? And what were some of those details about transition defense?
Running good offense. I mean, it's about execution on the offensive end. Sometimes your best defense is really good offense, and trying to execute it. We didn't have a ton of live ball turnovers, that could get them out and running. But I know, it's been a point of emphasis for 2 straight days is make sure we're getting back. Sensible is scary in the open court. They run a little rival action, throw behind in transition, and they're very good in their drags. But I thought our attention to detail was really good tonight.
Brad, obviously Coleman's shown he can be as impactful as anybody. What's the key for consistency, which I know is difficult, but what does consistency look like for him?
I think that Coleman's really talented, so I think it's going to be, he's going to have a night where he makes 5 threes. He's going to have a night where, he's I've said this for 2 years now. I think he's a lockdown defender. I think that he's, I always go back to the Keegan Murrays and the Ron Harpers games last year, and and again tonight. And most of those guys had off nights facing him. That's the consistency. I don't want to level consistency for him or judge it based on what he does on the offensive side. I think that he has nights where he makes shots, he has nights when he assists and facilitates, but that consistency on the defensive side and his rebounding, we talked a lot in the last 2 days about him really getting back aggressive on the glass, and he did that tonight.
Derek, when Coleman gets an assignment like Sensabaugh, like you mentioned, Keegan or Ron Harper, does he have a different level of excitement or focus? You see anything different from him in his preparation?
Maybe. I think the one thing I love about Coleman, he steps up to a challenge. He's not afraid of it. And Bryce is coming off I don't know what he had, 27 or 28 point game, and Coleman, he has respect for his opponent, but he also loves that challenge of trying to make life really hard. And he wasn't on him all night, but he was equally as impactful guarding other guys as well.
What specifically was maybe better with your 2-point defense tonight, maybe forcing them into those tough twos than Thursday?
2 days rest. Every game's so individually different. It's hard. Trace was obviously very, very good, but I thought we forced them into off the bounce jump shots, contested. I think likely, getting downhill, we did a much better job. We've spent 2 hard days really trying to guard the bully ball. And I thought we did a much better job with that. Some people are going to score some, but Isaac was 1 of 6 in the first half on hard twos, and that's all we can try to do is challenge him. This league has great players, so sometimes you're going to make them, and sometimes you're not, and you just need them to be consistently hard, and I thought we did that tonight.
Andy?
Just when Coleman was able to get a rhythm and run and kind of initiate the offense, and Terrence is able to initiate offense as well, how much does that help your younger guards kind of get into the flow of the offense when they're able to kind of dictate the road offense?
Yeah, a ton. And we all know Jaden can really score, and Buck can really run and push. RJ can run, and we find a different gear when we run. Sometimes I felt in the first half tonight, especially early, we tried too hard to look at me. Run actions, call a set instead of just running. And then we kind of broke it open, and it was our transition that did that, and we've got to find that happy balance.
Yeah. Is there something you see on the court in practice and a shoot-around that lets you know, okay, Matt's good, like he's healthy again, compared to what was Thursday night?
Well, he flat told me Thursday night he was sick. He goes, I feel terrible. It's not anything great with Matt. I think the biggest misnomer with Matt, and he's I don't know, he's kind of got that laid back, but Matt's an ultra competitor, and nobody wants to win more than Matt. He when it comes down to competing now, he's ready to tear your head off. But he's also going to tell you, Coach, I don't feel very good. I feel awful. I feel yucky. So he told me that, and I can go, but okay.
Done.
Coach, what went into the decision to start Jaden Epps, and what did you see from him as far as all-around game tonight?
Yeah, he was great. It wasn't anything big. It's just kind of a gut feeling. Sincere's been incredible. He's going to continue to be. I think it's maybe on the offensive side, teams got to have a little different approach with Jaden in the game. I love the fact Jaden got up 13 shots tonight. I thought he missed some he normally makes. But there's a little different approach the defense has to take when he's in the game, and I thought, okay, let's see how that looks.
Right. RJ plays 31 minutes, plus 13 on plus minus, but still hasn't got the offensive game. I think he's 5 for 32 over the past stretch of games. Defensively, he's doing the job. What's going to take for him to be offensively?
I hope I can find that book tonight and read that chapter. Keep shooting. keep shooting. Keep shooting. I think every time he shoots it, it's going in. He had a little muscle spasm in his shoulder and back at halftime. But keep shooting. I mean, we're running action to him. We want him to shoot it, and we all know that he's capable. He does it in practice, and at some point it's gonna click. But he is really guarding. He's really rebounding and doing everything else.
Joey? Can I get you one nod about the game? Amani was here tonight, but what would it mean for you guys just to have him around your program during a game day prep and just to get him in that experience?
Yeah, it's very rare the guys get to come during the season, and his folks were here. They see a game. They watch every single game. He's having a fantastic season. He's a terrific player, but just to see the environment, see our great fans, and how that works on game day, and you see the towers of fire and the starting, and all the lights, and it's a pretty cool deal. And so it's great to see him, and Nico got to town right prior to tip, so it was great for him to be on campus and be here, and he gets physical, and then he gets Fletch, so.
Safe to say this is the Ty Rodgers you've seen in practice and on the circuit when you were recruiting him from an activity standpoint?
Yeah, he doesn't smoke a layup in the first half. He's got a heck of a night, but yeah, I mean, Ty's, what a big-time move, whip driving it to the middle of the floor, and in our secret scrimmage with we all know who, he was a monster doing that, and he's like I said, almost every day he leads us in rebounding. A couple of those rebounds were huge momentum stoppers, to get those balls back. And, I love Ty Rodgers, man. He does a lot of little things to impact winning.
Derek? I usually only look at one game at a time, but big picture, how important is holding down the fort at home? Something you guys have done really well in previous seasons. You've got a nice string of sellouts. How big is that in the context of the standings, your overall big picture?
Gosh, I don't look at it like that. Yeah, you always want to win at home. I mean, that's the cliche answer. You always want to win at home, take care of business, go steal a few on the road. We talk about road wins. It's, like stealing, it's like stealing gold from Fort Knox. It's hard to do in this league. And, we got to go do it on Wednesday or Saturday, and it's always fun to play in front of the best fans in college basketball. It's great to have the Orange Crush back and them rocking. There's just a different electricity with them here. I love having those guys here. I love chatting with them before the game, and it just creates a different vibe.
Brad, outside of the Indiana game, I think 5 of your last 6 games have been some of your best defensive performances. What's led to that? What's clicking there?
Yeah, guys are buying in. Guys are buying into working hard, and it's simply playing hard. I think fundamentally Chester does an incredible job, and TA. They deserve a lot of the credit for that end of the court. Those guys are good, and they're starting to take on some identity on that end of the court, and when we rebound like that, it puts a pretty tough picture together. So I like what we're doing. We just keep working it. Fundamentally, we're making less mistakes, and then scouting report, we're making less mistakes, and that's a tribute to our coaching staff.
Brad, does a game like this, shot 41%, 18 from 3, 12 turnovers, on always conducive to wins? To get a win, does that help with that buy-in?
Sure. We talk daily. Offense is fleeting. It's great when a ball goes in and it feels good and it looks good and everybody talks about it, and they show the highlights on TV. Defense wins championships. Offense will win you a game, and we're going to win in this league because we guard, and we've got to be tougher. And there's a couple loose balls I didn't think we got, but it's what this thing's all about is finding ways to win when the ball doesn't go in.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.